Welcome back to this Wednesday, whatever you want to call it. Today he's got a brand new song out, but it's been out for a few days now, called Eden. Let's check it out. Well, it's a long one. It's 8 minutes and 50. Strap in. Make sure my microphone's in the right place. Right, let's go.
Let me tell you a story as old as time. The story of Adam and Eve.
Okay.
It starts with a God who wanted more. God had just created the heavens and the earth. He had the angels by his side, but they had no will of their own. And so the autonomy to love or reject him was never theirs.
Okay.
All but for one. The once called bringer of light. Lucifer, morning star. Lucifer was the fairest and most intelligent of all the angels.
Okay.
He was the closest thing to God's image, and in his likeliness, Lucifer felt restless.
Doesn't Lucifer turn into the devil, though? Is this a spoken word thing? I'm loving the 16-bit nature of this. It might even be 8-bit nature of the graphics. It reminds me of the games from like early 90s or even earlier. Right, okay. I'm here for this story.
He began to question and doubt God. He doubted the hierarchy imposed upon him. He felt God was arrogant. In his frustration, Lucifer built a throne that stood even above God's and declared mutiny.
Turn his back on
A
God.
war ensued. God, being all-powerful, came out the victor and banished Lucifer from the heavens and exiled him to earth. Once again, God was alone with his power. Perhaps from loneliness, perhaps from curiosity, perhaps from a desire to share love, God began to work on his greatest project yet, a being that would mirror himself, the human, two humans specifically, Adam and Eve. They were placed inside a paradise built for them on earth, the Garden of Eden. In the garden, God placed a tree that bared fruit that would grant anyone who ate it powers bestowed only to a God, to tell good from evil, left from right, to live righteously or to sin.
But the fruit is forbidden. The fruit is the fruit of knowledge, isn't it? That makes us what we are today and what we've got today, etc. Well, as the story goes, like I say, I'm not religious in any way, shape, or form. I do know this story of Adam and Eve, though. And there's a snake in the tree. Okay.
From evil, left from right, to live righteously or to sin. He named this the tree of knowledge. God told Adam and Eve they could eat whatever they wanted in the garden, but never the fruit from the tree of knowledge.
Right.
And if they disobeyed him, it would be punishable by death. The basic way the story of Eden is told is that Eve was tempted by Lucifer in the form of a serpent to eat a fruit from the tree of knowledge. Convinced, she bit the fruit, she passed it to Adam, and he did the same. Suddenly, ultimate knowledge filled their minds, and they realized they were naked and felt shame. God discovered this betrayal and felt angry. He exiled Adam and Eve and cursed them with the life of a mortal.
Is this how the story goes? Is this exactly? I mean, I know they bite the fruit, they get the knowledge, and then they become mortal. But is it down to Lucifer? Because it's a long time since I've heard this story of Eden. I thought this was a song. It's like a spoken word with piano playing in the background, which is good. It's good. It's a story. Story time.
Anger. He exiled Adam and Eve and cursed them with the life of a mortal. They would work, they would bear children, and they would die.
Yeah.
The fate of a human. Now look deeper.
In the story, the serpent tempted me by telling me I would gain ultimate knowledge and that God would spare me.
Both were true.
This wasn't some great deception, meaning that Satan, in the likeliness of God, perhaps understood his intentions.
Okay.
In fact,
The only lie uttered in the
Garden of Eden was
by God, who did not end up
condemning
Adam and Eve to
death.
This could be seen as an act of
Mercy, but the sheer fact that the tree existed and that humans
were initially cut off from this knowledge.
may imply some part of God was afraid that if humans were granted the gift of perception, they, like Lucifer, would have the power to reject him too.
Oh, this is a different spin, isn't it? Is this from Ren's mind? Is this from what Ren thinks about this? The fact that the tree of knowledge shouldn't have been put there in the first place, and the knowledge should have been put there, and the tests and the trials and stuff shouldn't have really been anywhere near the beings or the humans. Well, they weren't quite humans until they bit the apple, was they? And then basically, was it sort of like a narcissistic thing from God? Is this what Ren's saying here? Whereas he's holding back the knowledge so he can still be all powerful. As soon as they get that knowledge, they realize that they can think for themselves. And then they can reject him. Okay. Interesting point, that, Ren. Interesting point.
They, like Lucifer, would have the power to reject him too. The fact that there stood a beautiful tree that could
grant this knowledge in the first place
implies that a small part of
God, supposedly all-knowing,
perhaps wanted and intended
the humans to
bite too.
In the Bible, Satan was an exiled angel of free will. Humans are exiled
descendants of Adam and Eve,
also with free will. Not only have we shared a similar fate to the devil, we were also both constructed in the image of our Creator.
Constructed in the image of our Creator.
Meaning our behaviors, in some shape or form, imperfectly echo his.
We could assume that this kind of
God has his doubts, but as the most
powerful
being in the universe,
he has no one above him
to turn to with questions, and no one to
doubt but himself.
Facts.
An incredibly lonely and isolating existence.
We must only assume that the common thread between God, Lucifer, and us is the desire for more, an eternal curiosity, a desire perhaps birthed from a seed of loneliness. If not, why would we exist in the first place?
Oh, so humans, as this story goes, humans are more like the devil than they are like God. Because Lucifer was created of his own free will. Well, he made his own free will, and that's why he got exiled and banished. So maybe what else is being said here is when they say Lucifer tempts you, is he really just opening your eyes? Like the tree of knowledge, sorry? Oh, okay. I'm on board. I think I'm slowly getting what Ren's message is here.
Birthed from a seed of loneliness. If not, why would we exist in the first place? The constantly looping bittersweet irony is whether gifted by some omnipotent God or simply a byproduct of billions of years of evolution, here we stand in 2023 as creatures with free will.
Yes.
The only creatures that understand and define good from bad.
Yes.
Creatures with the potential of a god.
The only creature that ate from the tree of knowledge, as they said. As the story goes. Right, okay.
Good from bad. Creatures with the potential of a god. And what do we do with that free will, my friends?
Oh, I know where this is going. We do bad stuff with it. We make guns, we make wars, we make poverty, we make, with the imbalance of the world. That's what I think's coming now.
We willingly walk to the edge of a cliff. In the name of progress, we jump off the precipice. The empires we build ravage the earth. The natural order of things are necessary to survive. Any systems which do not honor homeostasis eventually perish.
Yeah.
Our free will overrides our own biological instinct.
Yeah.
We can take more than we eat. We can kill more than we need. We can willingly create weapons with the potential to burn everything we've built to the ground. We willingly decide to bow at the altar of greed, the most insidious and destructive of all sins.
This is going back to the 7 sins, and he's the one he's pointing out more than anything else, which he points out a lot, is greed and the fact that we don't have to take so much, we don't have to kill everything, we don't have to make so many weapons of mass destruction, etc. and so forth, and moving forward. This is a very, very eye-opening video, because it's not really a song. This is Ren speaking to the people. This is Ren saying what we are doing, and what we're doing basically is being a cancer on the planet. We got all that knowledge. We got given all the gift of knowledge, the gift of being able to do this and do that, think for ourselves, free, blah, 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 and we just jump off a cliff with it. You know what I mean? Instead of doing something positive with it. I get it.
Of greed, the most insidious and destructive of all sins. We put our faith in corporations who pose as rulers. We willingly allow ourselves to be led by outdated power systems ran by corrupted politicians
and bloated dictators who claim domain and dominion over an open and free land.
We willingly elect the corrupted when the decision was always ours to build something better. We willingly create and impose separation because of beliefs that we are force-fed through our phones and television sets. We always had the will to reject these things, but we adhere to them as though they were the laws of physics.
Yes, governments are put in place by people, by elections. Dictators are put in place by the people. I mean, who says what's right and wrong? Who says that we needed a government? Who says that we needed a monarchy? Who said we need this? Who said that we needed that? All man-made things to try and control people. And then it goes all the way down to the mobile phone, which is on about just saying that, you know, we all adhere to the laws of the screen or what things are told to you, and you scroll and you get more information, etc. from your phone. You start believing other things. You know, you start going down into crazy thought processes. I get this. I get this totally.
The will to reject these things, but we adhere to them as though they were the laws of physics.
It's all
War,
man-made.
famine, pestilence, greed. These aren't things imposed upon us by an all-powerful God or by his demonic adversary. They are here because of us, not because of free will.
Because of us, because of our greed, because of our dictators, because of the things that people do to line their own pockets. 1 second. My bad. That was a phone call I had to take. Yes, greed is a cancer. Greed is something that someone who's making crap loads of money and lining their own pockets is taken away from someone who really needs it. That's the way I look at it.
But because of our inability to use it. We must be motivated to be better, not out of fear of punishment of an eternal damnation, but because the choice exists, because we love ourselves, because we have the power to absolve ourselves of so much unnecessary suffering.
Yes.
Take a second to be in this very moment. In this moment, how much suffering is happening all over the planet right now?
Loads.
How many people are dying of illnesses that could have easily been cured, but aren't because of the selfishness and greediness of humanity? How many people...
Big Pharma. There's money to be made in medicines, money to be made in hospitals and stuff like that. Yeah.
Easily been cured, but aren't because of the selfishness and greediness of humanity. How many people break their backs and reject their own passions to simply afford bills and food? How many of us crave distraction from existence? How many of us numb that pain in whatever way necessary? How many children are being abused? How many people sleep cold and hungry on the streets? How many of us become cogs inside a machine that is destroying itself? How many soldiers have been forced to fight in meaningless wars? How many humans have killed for ideals they don't believe in or understand? How many people have died for the greed of another man? And how much of this was avoidable?
All of it.
As written in the Bible, Satan was not condemned to hell. Satan was condemned to earth. He lives there amongst other creatures with free will, who always had the choice and still chose their own undoing. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our self-made hell. The bittersweet irony is this is a creation of our own design. I'll leave you with this. Consider what you have done here today.
Picking up
you
your
have
brother,
worked
helping.
together
I like
as individuals.
I like this bit. This is people helping people. This like the guy who collapsed in that marathon and he picked you up, and you know the guy pushing the car. The people pushing the cars, helping. You got to help your fellow people, not hinder them, not beat them down or kick them when they're down. There's a lot of problem with poverty in the country as well, and you know especially with the vets, the ones who come back from war and stuff, and they're all homeless, and you know don't get looked after. It's like thank you, fuck you. You know what I mean?
Consider what you have done here today. You have worked together as individuals, collaborating to form a giant neural network, a hive mind capable of achieving incredible things. We have lent on each other's strengths to solve puzzles and decipher riddles, and we've done so to win money. Imagine applying that same spirit and determination to creating the closest thing we have to paradise here on Earth. By
Everybody
using the
getting
power
along.
of collaboration, we can work together to even the playing field for everybody.
Yeah.
Our dystopias can become utopias. Our Jahannams can become Jannah. Our hells can become heaven, right here on Earth.
Yeah.
And this sentiment applies to atheists, agnostics, and believers alike. Myself, I'm an agnostic who believes. I believe in us.
Yeah.
We must do better because we can choose to. We must be better simply because the option exists. Thank you.
Ren has got an absolutely screwed on head on his shoulders. This gives me goosebumps. The whole thing gave me goosebumps watching it because, I mean, we started off with just like a story, like at the beginning of time, etc., and then it just evolves into what we are like as humanity and the way we are stepping on each other to gain progress, if you like. And that's not the way to be. You should be helping people. You should be, help finding ways to cure stuff. No one should be cold and hungry and living on the streets and stuff. Ren's here is addressing everything that is wrong in the world, and he's put it in such a good story form. I mean, he's said it in a few different things now, especially some of his spoken stuff about helping people instead of hindering them. And even with, going back to that King Dotter response, at the end of it, it is a bit of a joke with him, and then at the end of it, he still had the class to put a positive spin on it and be nice and tell everyone to go and subscribe to him. Do you know what I mean? Because Ren is all about helping. You know what I mean? It's really, really positive. I share his views completely and utterly. And these values, it should be applied to all people, no matter what walk of life they're from or what they believe in. Like you said at the end, whether it be atheists, agnostics, or believers, etc., it doesn't matter. All these rules should be applied, and we should make the world a better place. Guns should never have been invented and stuff like that. I mean, that's obvious to see. And a lot of them are pointless wars. Egos cause wars. I know this. That's you can see it. It's written all over people's faces. But how many people have to die because someone's got a big head? You know what I mean? What an absolutely relevant message there from Ren, and a very, very eye-opening message. Anyway, what did you guys think? Let me know in the comments, and if you like my videos, then please hit like and subscribe, and I shall see you all on the next video.